All right. It is getting close to Christmas. 2 days before Christmas when this hits.
Merry Christmas.
And you're still acting like an idiot. You're still going out every Friday night, getting shit-faced, getting plastered, and then
they're hoping for a Christmas miracle.
So it's December the 23rd, 2023. We're 2 days away from Christmas. Are you going to go out tonight, Christmas Eve, and do this again?
Probably.
So we're going to have to get you through today.
Just make sure all your family gifts are wrapped ahead of time.
Yes. Yes, make sure you have got everything taken care of so you're not going to screw up Monday, which is Christmas, people. Make sure you're not going to screw up Christmas for your parents, your family, your friends, your wives, your husbands. Most importantly, the kids. So if you're going to go out and have fun again tonight on Christmas Eve, I guess we're going to have to get you going here with the eggs, the bacon, the sausage, the aspirin.
You know the drill.
The Pepto-Bismol. And we'll have to guide you through now because maybe, hopefully, you're fortunate enough to have some days off from work. Now that we're in the middle of this holiday, we got the Christmas coming up. We got the New Year's coming up. A lot of people get a lot of time off here. Some are fortunate enough to get the whole week off in between. So that means a whole lot of drinking for you. It means a whole lot of us trying to guide you through the week in terms of what to listen to, what to watch, what to stream.
Read. It's all there for you, kids.
That's your Uncle Dave.
That's your Uncle Kev. Segment 1, as always, music.
But it's the holiday season, Dave.
It is.
It's kind of become a Sports Frenzy weekend edition tradition where we dig up. Somebody's got a brand new Christmas album out. Somebody's got to.
And wouldn't you know, Mr. Mark Tremonti came through for us.
That's right. Last year, I believe, was Chris Isaak.
Yes.
This year, Mark Tremonti, of course, Alter Bridge, Creed, and Tremonti.
Yep. Christmas classics, new and old.
Now, you wouldn't think, if you've listened to Tremonti, and on occasion Alter Bridge, where he will share lead vocals with Miles Kennedy, you know his voice. The thing is, Mark Tremonti, when he does these types of albums, he's done one in the past with covers of Frank Sinatra classics.
Yeah.
He does this for charity. He does these albums on his own for charity. He's got enough money coming in, God knows, from the other three acts, the other three bands he's dealing with. So he puts together these albums for charity. So
the guy's got a fantastic voice.
And you can understand why his first one was Frank Sinatra classics, because he's got that kind of baritone voice.
Yeah.
So we got 10 songs here on Merry Christmas Classics, Old and New. One original, Christmas Morning.
Yep.
And then a mixed bag between traditional and then This Christmas is not necessarily an older song. It's more of a newer, a little bit of a funkier one.
Yeah, and that one was my least favorite just because I'm not a fan of the song in and of itself.
Yeah. Of course, I liked it. So
there you go.
Because I was looking for something different. I kind of got a little worn down by some of the unbelievably rigid traditional arrangements.
And he did a very traditional arrangements. I was hoping for something a little different.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be my big criticism is the traditional songs are so rigidly done with the background vocals and the orchestration that
he could have rocked him out just a little bit, and it would have been much, much better, more enjoyable.
He does. They throw some saxophone in there now and then, which I like. Some piano,
yeah,
which made some of the songs a little bit better. I did not like Jingle Bells at all. The arrangement they did with Jingle Bells bothered me.
Jingle. That
I
was
did not like that
lame.
at all.
That sucked.
Did not like it at all.
It ruined what was written originally as a drinking song. The original works for it was drinking song. You go out and then you race your sleighs around. And then we did a little research on this. It came up at the house. There's a third verse to it that talks about getting caught out in a snowstorm and having a little free time with your date. That alludes to getting busy in the sleigh.
Oh, we can't do that. God knows we can't do that.
Written in the 1800s, early 1800s. So,
because what the one that's been getting grief the last couple of years is what, Baby It's Cold Outside?
Yeah, because it's misogynistic. Whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like the guy's trying to force himself on the woman. Shut up. I'm tired of this.
Just let it go, people.
I read an article this week. We're getting off track, but that's fine. We got plenty of time. The Rolling Stones. We reviewed Hackney Diamonds.
Yeah.
Last month, right? Remember Blur? They had one big song in America.
Song 2.
Right. That was their one big hit. Now they've been big in Europe, right, in the UK. But their leader, Damon Albarn, came out and ripped into the Rolling Stones mercilessly, saying they never did anything for the neighborhood of Hackney. Why are they talking about Hackney? Why are they naming their album after Hackney? And then he went on to say, have you seen the video for the first single, Angry?
No, I have not.
Okay. I barely paid attention to it. And this is shocking considering what I'm about to tell you. There is a very hot young actress called Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I'm familiar with her.
She is in the video showing off her assets, let's say. Okay? And I don't find her necessarily attractive facially, but it's kind of hard to ignore
the assets.
But she's in the video driving around LA in a convertible, screaming the song or lip syncing the song, and her boobs are hanging out. And this Damon Albarn, oh, how dare you objectify women? How dare. I'm like, rock and roll is all about objectifying women or men. It's about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And
where have you been?
I am tired of the PC police and cancel culture. If Sydney Sweeney, once she gets the opportunity to do a music video for the Rolling fucking Stones,
and she has an opportunity to say yes or no to the outfit she wears,
and she says, I'm fine with it, I didn't have any problem with it, I did not feel objectified, I am happy with my boobs.
Have you seen the shows that she's in? She lets them hang out as it is.
Yeah, she said, God bless her, she said, my boobs are my best friends.
Boom. There you go.
That's a woman I can respect. And I don't care what the Me Too police have to say about it. Because you're not sticking up for the women you should be, where you should be, when you should be. But this kind of crap, some 2-bit idiot who had one hit here in America thinks he can rip on the Rolling Stones and their videos.
Shut up and go away.
Anyway. Back to Christmas music.
We still need to give our final.
Well,
review.
We should talk about the original song because I guess so Christmas Morning, track 4, is the one original song that he wrote for this, and it's fine.
He wrote it. It's in a very traditional Christmas Carol, rendition.
Right. It's fine. It's just not great.
No, it's okay.
It blends in nicely.
Yeah.
To the rest of the songs. And as we mentioned, I liked this Christmas, the last song, because it was a little funky.
Yeah, I just not a fan of the song overall. I did appreciate the difference that it brought to it.
Right.
I just don't care for it.
But like we said, otherwise you're getting all the traditional songs. Some of them a little bit overdone. Jingle Bells being the one that stands out to me.
Yeah, that was just.
Other ones, the lead off track, The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, very nice rendition of that.
Yes.
So I'll
It's
give it a 2 frenzies.
it's all it can get.
Yeah,
He didn't do anything special with it.
right. And again, I hate to compare again to last year with Chris Isaak, where Chris Isaak usually does a 50-50 split between originals and traditionals, but even his traditionals
Have his.
yes, he'll pull out Mala Kaliki Maka and Dogs Love Christmas too, and a little bit more humor, a little bit more.
He puts the Chris Isaak treatment to it.
Right. Whereas here, Mark Tremonti is just being very
traditional,
rigid and traditional. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again,
No.
Jingle Bells is the one that I just couldn't stand.
Yeah, just keep that off.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a nice one to have on in the background.
Yeah,
while
it
you're
is.
Putting ornaments on the tree. If you haven't done that already, you better goddamn get into it, because you only got a week left. For the love of Christ.
No, where you're at, you only have 2 days.
Yeah, so unfortunately, 2 frenzies. About the best we can do here.
Yep.
But
finally,
we get the Lost Christmas classic.
The Christmas Duel.
15 years old. I cannot believe I did not discover this until a couple months ago, as Dave chastised me, said, how the hell, you being the Hives fan that you are, did you not know about this? And it just never popped on my radar on Spotify. Never, it doesn't get promoted.
No, it doesn't. And it's a lovely Christmas duet with the Hives and Cyndi Lauper.
Yes, it is not. It is not for the children. Let's put it that way.
So not for the children. Wow.
Basically, a dysfunctional couple stuck together for another miserable Christmas.
Yep.
That they do not want to spend together
and they don't want to spend it alone either.
Yes, as they recount their escapades to either make each other jealous or do things in spite of each other.
Yeah.
To spite each other.
It's entertaining.
This is the different kind of thing we're looking for here on Christmas. Just give us something like this once a year, something different, something off kilter, something a little un-PC.
Along the lines of Father Christmas, Give Me Some Money.
Yes, the Kinks.
Yep.
The great Kinks classic.
AC/DC's Mistress for Christmas.
Oh, I love that song so much. That's a good one.
See, we got you covered.
Yep. Now, the one I will criticize this on one level. I think Cyndi Lauper screams.
She's a little too screechy,
much.
And it's hard to pick up the lyrics.
Yes.
That's the one knock.
Pelle Almquist is trying his best as the Hives lead singer to be a little bit more subdued.
And enunciate.
Yes. Yeah, Cyndi Lauper's just screeching and screaming. I had to actually put on the lyrics on Spotify. Just to see what she was saying.
Yeah, I went back and did that too. Listening to it and reading along.
And if she dialed it down just a little bit, the song would have been much better.
Oh, absolutely.
Much better. So as it is, I will give it 2.5 frenzies.
Yep, where I'm at 2.5.
Yep, so
it's worth a listen, kids.
There you go, kids. There's the Christmas spirit here on Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition for you.
And now it's time to get to the rock.
Regular rock.
Now,
we are going to hold off on one of the songs we promised you.
Yeah, we need to give it a little
Mars,
more.
The second single from Mick Mars' upcoming album, The Other Side of Mars, Right Side of Wrong. We need a little more time on this one.
Yeah.
But that still leaves 2.
Should we save the best for last? Or do we want to?
That's fine. I know where we're going. That's fine. Yep.
Or do we want to trash longer?
I had heard, and again, this is a problem. I know you can't trust what you hear on social media. You can't trust what you hear from the media. But I had heard about this legendary Guns N' Roses song called The General. And I had heard this was like a huge epic, like an 8-9 minute epic, kind of like I was thinking Coma off of Use Your Illusion, which goes on forever, but it's tempo changes, it's awesome, it's crazy, it's metal,
it's decent.
Right. And then I see the studio version. They played it in concert here recently, trying to get everybody prepped. And it comes in as like a 4.5 minute, weird, bizarre. It sounds like
what the fuck is this?
It sounds like it's about child abuse.
The vocal, it's just not good.
This sounds like, whereas they'd taken leftover stuff from the Chinese Democracy sessions, which were all Axl. That was all Axl. That was shit. All. At least Slash and Duff had added their own flavor to the stuff, like like Always and
they salvaged them.
Yes, you barely hear Slash in this at all on guitar.
Yeah,
this sounds like this sounds like something that Pink Floyd would have done circa The Wall.
Very good comparison.
Just a weird, bizarre, the lyrics sound like it's talking about a child trapped in a closet being abused by a father. I'm sorry, I could not get Spotify to give me the lyrics.
No, and it was hard to pick up a lot of the lyrics.
Right.
The way Axl sings it.
Right.
It's very garbly. It's
trash.
It's garbage.
It's awful.
Horrible.
It's an awful, awful, awful song.
I can't even give it a 1 because you get nothing from Duff and Slash to try and salvage it.
I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1 because
weak 1.
But
a very weak 1.
What are you critics hearing in this that makes you think this is good? It's terrible.
It's awful.
This is nothing remotely as good or as close to the other songs we've gotten here over the last couple years.
Yeah. No, this
does sound like an Axl Rose indulgence piece.
Yeah.
Instead of a full-out Guns N' Roses group effort.
Yeah. Stay away.
Yes.
Stay far, far away.
And again, I had heard so many things about how this was going to be the legendary Guns N' Roses song. This was the next November Rain. This was the next Coma.
No.
But thankfully,
thank you, Sebastian Bach.
Thank you, Santa, for giving us a new Sebastian Bach song.
What do I got to lose? Oh, baby. This is rock and roll. This is what we love.
See, now, you didn't like... I'm going to go back to Ace Frehley for a second here.
It was too generic-y for me.
But I needed that. I needed that at that point in time, a couple weeks ago. I needed that. I really did. And I feel the same way about What Do I Got to Lose.
This
I needed
baby
this.
Gave me the jolt. Gave me hope for the coming year. Redemption.
Well, we don't know if we're getting a new album. We don't know what we're going to get.
We can hope.
We can hope that this is not just a one-off.
Yeah. Please, not a one-off. Come on, Sebastian.
This is where Sebastian Bach is taming down. He always has had an inclination to go really hard. Really hard.
Yeah.
If you thought Skid Row changed their sound from Skid Row to Slave to the Grind, you look at how they changed from Slave to the Grind to Sebastian Bach's solo stuff. He was trying to melt your face off with his solo stuff. And I think listening to this song,
he's paring it back.
at least getting back to the Slave to the Grind,
Yeah.
which is in my opinion, and I think you'll agree with me, near perfect.
Oh, Slave to the Grind was a fantastic album.
One of the greatest albums, in my opinion, of all time.
Yeah. So good.
They brought their sound up from pop rock to metal, but didn't go to the point where they were doing Pantera.
Right.
That's where his solo stuff started to go.
Yeah.
He wanted to go really, really hard and heavy. This brings it back to the point where now it's more listenable.
Yeah. But this one, solid 3.
Absolutely. Solid 3. What do I got to lose from Sebastian Bach? Definitely a solid 3 frenzies.
Yeah. Very good. It will be listened to over and over.
Yep. Now, a little bit of music news before we wrap up segment 1. We're not going to do our best of next week.
No.
Dave will not be here, so you're going to have to wait a couple weeks for that because I can't do that one on my own.
Yeah, there's a family conflict coming into play.
That's not a conflict. You got an obligation. It's no big deal. So I will take the reins for next week. I will figure out something to listen to in terms of music. Definitely will have a movie. Definitely will keep up with Reacher and Fargo and all that good stuff. But one of the albums that will be in consideration for the top 5 best of the year, of course, we will do top 5 songs, top 5 concerts, top 5 albums, and then we'll probably wait a couple weeks to start looking into top movies, top TV shows.
Yeah.
We'll give that till like mid-January. But, of course, Mammoth WVH will be in consideration. Not saying anything beyond that.
No.
I have been going through here over the last weekend, listening to some of the albums from 2023 that needed to be listened to again, the contenders for the final slots. Guitar World Magazine has named Wolfgang Van Halen's guitar riff on the song Right as the number 1 guitar riff of 2023, beating out Kirk Hammett on 72 Seasons.
Wow.
And Greta Van Fleet, one of the songs on that album that we will not listen to because we have shunned them.
Yes.
We have eschewed them from the annals of sports frenzy music.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do if they want to try and get us back.
Yeah. I mean, we gave them a more than fair shot. We listened to 3-4 songs of the new album and just hated all of them. But congratulations to Wolfie.
Well done, sir.
And then there is also more Van Halen news, a book coming out in January about David Lee Roth. A little bit of an outsider's perspective on the influence he had. The end of Van Halen and then on to his solo career and
beyond.
Yes. The rise, fall, and rise of David Lee Roth. So
intriguing.
Yep. But that'll do it for segment 1.
Yep. We have movies and books coming up next.
Yep. I have a big movie review, and your Uncle Dave has got a big, significant book review. Then, of course, we have a lot of movie news. And when we get to TV and streaming, oh boy.
Oh boy. Baby. We have a cornucopia of things to talk about.
Yep. So you don't want to miss that. Keep frying up the eggs. Keep frying up the bacon. Take the aspirin. Orange juice, coffee, do whatever you got to do to keep going here for the next 60 minutes.
Yep. We'll be right back after this brief message.
She walked into my office, just as I was reaching for the bottle in my bottom desk drawer. Legs till Tuesday, lips like pillows. I want to hire you, she said, to find Sports Frenzy 2.0. Doll, I said, that would be the easiest case ever. Sports Frenzy 2.0 is on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, everywhere you listen to podcasts. She nodded to herself, sat down and smiled. I grabbed 2 glasses. Life was good. And so is Sports Frenzy 2.0.
All right, kids. Dropping December 23rd, 2023. Merry Christmas from Sports Frenzy 2.0 on,
Ho, ho, ho!
on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeartRadio.
No, wait a minute.
Threw the...
That's a curveball.
It is. I do that because I said Merry Christmas from Sports Frenzy 2.0. I couldn't very
All
well
right.
go into it here.
You could have.
I could, but
You
it's
wanted to.
redundant.
Fine. Keep using the big words that the kids out there and me don't understand. That's fine.
It's movie time and book time, kids.
Yep. What we used to call in the old cable access days, film frenzy and literary frenzy.
That's right.
I was fortunate enough to finally get my hot little hands.
You watched Barbie, didn't you?
No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not. Although I keep hearing about Dua Lipa in that movie. And it's just like, I've heard she is unbelievably hot. This should tell you, I don't get online and look at these pictures, okay? I have a daughter. I am responsible. I am all for respecting women. Even though we were talking about Sydney Sweeney's cans in the last segment.
We respect them.
Yes. Finally, one of the movies I've been waiting to watch for months and months and months, I finally got to see it. The Equalizer 3.
Nice.
Denzel Washington wrapping up the trilogy, the Antoine Fuqua trilogy. And tragedy, I was going to say, I was thinking of the TV show, the new TV show, not the old TV show. Because, of course, if you know the history of the Equalizer, it started off in the 80s with British actor Edward Woodward playing Robert McCall in his trench coat and his gloves, looking for the ad in the newspaper for people that needed help. And then, of course, we got Denzel Washington taking over, kind of doing the same thing, not quite in the same tone or manner, but still very well done. And then, of course, they had to destroy it with Queen Latifah in this idiotic TV show that we will never watch.
Because you have to PC everything.
If you think Queen Latifah's beating anybody's ass, you're out of your mind. This is like Pee Wee Herman being the Punisher, is what this is to me. It's not as bad as Will Smith as James West, which was the ultimate travesty of all time, even though Dave will say it is Jack Reacher and Tom Cruise.
It's 1A and 1B.
And we'll get to Reacher in the third segment.
That's right, we will.
So the Equalizer 3 finds Robert McCall overseas. And right away, we're stuck in the middle of the action, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And he gets wounded and has to go to a Italian city. Luckily, somebody takes him to a doctor, gets him fixed up, and it seems like he's done. It seems like I want to just be left alone. I'm starting to find my peace in this nice Italian city, and the people start to treat me very well, and he's doing good, and he's getting that inner peace, that inner calm that I wish I could find. But of course, things go bad. And he finds himself involved with the mafia.
No.
And the people that he has learned to care for, the people that he has learned to love and admire and respect are starting to be threatened emotionally, physically, and he has to step up.
And he's not gonna take it.
Nope. This one's hard for me to review because I enjoyed it. It's a different animal from the first two, though. All I could think of watching Equalizer 3 was this is a Steven Seagal movie from the 80s, is what this is. This is bare minimum plot. Literally, the plot I could summarize for you on the back of an index card. There is not much plot here. This is all about doing my friends, my family, the people that I care about, doing them dirty, and I'm going to fuck you up for it. So in that sense, in that barest, visceral sense, it is like an old Steven Seagal, Nico out for justice, marked for death. There is no trickery here. Yes,
it is what it is.
It is Robert McCall, but there are no ads in the newspaper. It's nothing like that. This is just, you fucked with my friends, now I'm going to fuck with you 10 times worse.
Nice. So you can picture out for justice as he's running around listening to No Sleep Till Brooklyn, trying to get the bad guy.
Yep, and basically.
Burning the city to the ground.
It's
in Italy.
That's the difference. It's in Italy. That's the only difference.
You need movies like that.
Yes. It's a visceral release of what we wish we could do to the bad guys. And that's what made all those great 80s action movies work, whether it was Stallone or Seagal or Schwarzenegger or Van Damme. That's why this one is different from the other two. It's not trying to build on the mythology. It's not trying to push a great point, a societal message forward.
It's a guy who wants to have a calm, peaceful existence after years of violence, and he's once again pushed to the brink to save what he longs to have.
Right. That's the plot. There you go. You just did it. Back of an index card.
Boom.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Now, there are a couple things at the end where they try to tie everything back in to previous movies, but it didn't even need to be done. You didn't even have to go that far.
Just let it be what it is.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning is in it. And, of course, that's kind of an interesting little twist. If you remember the fantastic movie Man on Fire, where he played Greasy, she was the little girl he was protecting. And now she's back in this in a completely different role, but they're back together again.
It's kind of a closure.
Right.
Is it a closure for Denzel in action movies?
I think so. I think that's how I read it.
This is his Gran Torino?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's
but not
that
on that
majestic.
Not that majestic, but in that vein.
Yes. Now, we've always talked about how Clint Eastwood, it seems like he's planned his whole career out, and how he had Unforgiven planned out as possibly his homage to the end
of The Man with No Name.
And then Gran Torino was the end of Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Very thinly veiled, not the same characters in name, but in spirit. You could say that. Now, there was a time watching this where I thought he was actually going to go back to the Magnificent Seven for a moment. where I thought we were going to get like some kind of a showdown type thing. But no, in the end, it's a Steven Seagal, old school, 80s, fuck up the bad guys.
And move on.
Yep.
There we go.
In terms of a rating, I got to give it a week 3. I've got to give it at least 3 because it worked on me. I was intent into it, rooting for him to kill all these stupid slime balls.
There you go.
But again, there's
talking. It sounded like it was going to be a 2.5, solid 2.5.
No, I got to give it at least a week.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, but again, no grand message, no massive character development. It's just a well done. Again, I love the fact that it harkened back to the 80s, those action movies that we loved.
Beautiful.
So I recommend it. If you're into action movies, this will not disappoint. Just don't expect. I brought up Man on Fire, of course, again, because Dakota fan. Man on Fire's worlds better because Man on Fire has a much different level to it in terms of
it's
the directing, the acting. You
the
want to
development
talk about
of characters,
yeah, the visceral kick,
yeah,
where he's trying to get this young girl back from these scumbags and feels like he's failed because he was the bodyguard.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more to it, a little bit more you invest in the characters. Man on Fire is just ridiculously good. But again, interesting that he kind of brings Dakota Fanning back in as almost a nod to that movie.
That
says,
cool.
I know that was my high point, so let's close everything out. Like you said, let's close out the Denzel Washington action movie career. Bring Dakota Fanning back in here in a side role as an FBI or CIA agent. Let me just kick some ass, take some names,
and ride off into the sunset.
There you go. So
beautiful.
Yep.
All right. The book review of the week, Jeffrey Deaver's latest Lincoln Rhyme mystery, The Watchmaker's Hand. This we like multiple plot line books and different things going on.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So this one, Lincoln gets note. His nemesis, the Watchmaker from previous books, who threatened to kill him at some point. Note comes in that he's getting ready to make a play. So Lincoln's on high alert. Also dealing with appears to be domestic terrorists in New York who are taking down construction cranes in an effort to get more housing for the homeless because the city owns so much property that's sitting unused. So they're saying, all right, we drop this crane, we'll drop another one in 24 hours unless you sign over this property. Another murder investigation taking place discovers, there's an international bomber on the loose in New York. See,
wow.
3 seemingly unrelated things going on. Or are they unrelated?
So you got this whole big build-up, and now you act like it's...
The way it progressed was pretty good, but when you got to the end with the reveals of everything, I kind of saw where some of things were going, but the leaps in logic that were expected to be made for different parts of it, I'm like, seriously? Really? You did not... No, sorry. For the first 3/4 of the book, I'm like, build-up was good. I enjoyed it. But the tie-up and all just kind of fell flat to me. I can only go 2.5 on this one.
Now, you've told me you've read all the Jeffrey Deaver books, right?
Yeah.
And I told you I read one or two of them and I didn't like them. The Lincoln Rhymes stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the movie adaptation. I did not like that
the
at
movie
all.
adaptation was awful.
Yeah, that's one of the few movies where I will, again, go back to Denzel Washington. And that one, I will say he was not, I didn't like the way he played the character.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
No, and the character
is not likable.
No, he's not supposed to be. He's
Right.
an asshole. He's
Right.
a self-admitted asshole.
Right.
Who's kind of come to terms with things because he wanted to die after being paralyzed
Right.
as a
Right.
quadriplegic. Now he's got developed his friends group, married now to his investigator through the years, and he's got stuff to live for, and he's still abrasive, but he's not a complete douchebag. But still, there were bits in here that I just didn't care for the leaps that were made. I don't know, just didn't feel right. So this is probably one of the weaker. It should have been an epic, but to me, it kind of fell at the end.
And that's the thing with books. When you're watching a movie, and God knows we have watched a lot of bad movies over the years, but that's an hour and a half or 2 hour investment. When you're talking about a book, which for anybody outside of you, Mr. Evelyn Wood, speed reader, is a multi-day, multi-week investment, you're more picky and choosy, and you tend to go with the authors that you trust.
Yeah.
You are a little bit more able to expand what you read because you read so quickly and you read 7,000 books a year. But for the most part, it's really hard for me to think about, and I don't know about you, to think about a book I out and out hated because it never gets to that point.
No.
Where I'm not reading a book I hate. Number one, if it stinks in the first 50 pages and I don't know the author, I'm done. I'm not going to read.
Yeah.
Movie, you're like, I'll get through the next hour.
Yeah.
And just see where it goes.
Yeah. No, this to me, it fell apart in like the final 10 pages.
Oh wow.
That I'm
right
just
at the
like,
very end.
Right at the very end, I'm like, what? This is so lame. I know these are brilliant criminologists, brilliant criminal, but some of the leaps and everything that they're trying to do, it almost got a little too much.
Well, we have good news on the horizon, my friend. Last week we talked about the teaser from James Lee Burke coming in January, book of short stories with a new novella. Then we got the big news. We got the aperitif, then we got the entree.
Yes. Yeah.
Coming June the 11th. June the 11th of 2024. Finally, we get a new Dave Robichaux book, although it focuses on Cleet Purcell.
This is the story you and I have been wanting for decades.
We figured it was coming. We
figured
knew it was coming.
It had to come at some point.
Because Cleet Purcell has always been such a strong side character.
Yeah, he can carry a story on his own easily.
Because we're Dave Robichaux, again, we're talking about the James Lee Burke novels that have been going on for decades and decades. Multiple Edgar Award-winning novels. Greatest series ever. If you have not read James Lee Burke's Dave Robichaux series, you have got to read. Shame on you.
Put it at the top of your list.
Start off with the Neon Rain and just work your way through.
A flawed but noble character.
Right. Robichaux is the moral center
Yes.
Robichaux is the one who is more, he's more internal. He keeps everything inside, but he will explode with anger and rage if he's pushed in the wrong. Cleet is the opposite. Cleet's always out there. Cleet is always mad. Cleet will fight you in 2 seconds.
Cleet would
gets
just
drunk.
blow something up as soon as try to fix it.
Right. Cleet's going to
Damn
get
the
drunk.
torpedoes,
Cleet's
full
gonna,
speed ahead.
Cleet's going to take drugs. Cleet's going to screw hookers.
Cleet lives under the black flag.
It leads to a more complicated character.
Yeah.
And that's why we've been waiting to see him take the spotlight. And now we finally will get that, even though ostensibly it is both of them together.
This seems that it's going to be more Cleet-centered with Dave as the backup.
Yep. And of course, it's called Cleet. Again, we will have this for you next summer. Oh, boy.
I'm hoping we're right on the way that it's set.
Yep. This is one that I might actually see myself knocking out in 1 or 2 weeks. And that's fast for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, this is
not only have we
good.
been waiting for years for a new Robichaux, but now the fact that Cleet is going to take the focal point.
So excited for that one.
Yep.
Within the next week, I'll have one for you kids, and then after that, I'm going to have Mike Lupica's attempt at Spencer.
I can't pull the trigger on it yet. I can't do it yet.
I will take the hit for you.
Now we will both eventually, if not next, well, if you're taking next week off, which it looks like you are, then I should be good to go for Lee Child in 2 weeks.
Okay, perfect.
So The Secret, the latest Reacher novel, in 2 weeks I can do.
Okay. Yeah, I will have Jeff Lindsay's The Three Swords, the Riley Wolf Master Thief, the third in that series. The fourth one just came out this last year, so I'm playing catch up. So that's the one I'm currently in the middle of reading.
Yeah, the Lupica Spencer one, I have, you know how I am about, I'm very protective of that series. And when I heard that he was taking it over from Ace Atkins, just made me cringe a little bit. So.
I read the first chapter. I'm kind of cringy.
Well, read the whole thing and then.
So.
I'll read it eventually.
Yeah. I'm skeptical through the first chapter.
Well, I've heard people say that he is the wrong choice for all of these books, as he's taken over the entire Robert B. Parker library outside of the Cole and Hitch.
Yeah.
All right, going back to movies, couple little movie tidbits to wrap up segment 2. Boy, Marvel is fucked. Marvel is fucked. And this is what happens when you plan out your entire movies, the plots, and run them all through. You say, this is going to be what we're going to do for the next 3 or 4 years. Now, it worked magnificently with the Avengers, with Endgame.
Yeah.
You had the Infinity Gauntlet. It worked perfectly to the tunes of billions upon billions upon billions of dollars.
That is the rare occurrence where you
can lightning in a bottle.
Where you can pull off a decade-long run.
That's lightning in a bottle, is what that is, with Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. And it worked perfectly. And now it seems like that deal with the devil is cashing in. Because we have talked about how bad the Marvel movies have been since Disney took them over. And now your main villain,
Kang, is going to jail.
Yes, Jonathan Majors, who of course has played Kang here in Loki, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was supposed to be the focus going into the next Avengers movies. Guilty of reckless assault and harassment. He has been fired by Marvel. So either they're going to have to recast, which I would imagine they'd have to do.
You have to recast.
Unless you are going to flush this entire thing right now down the toilet,
well,
eat $50-100 million and
if
start
you
from scratch.
Look at the way everybody's panning all the Marvel movies of late, you might as well just scrap the whole thing and maybe try and start a new plot line and try and resurrect it.
That might be the way to go. The only one I would worry about is you had a great idea with Blade, bringing in Mahershala Ali to play Blade. Now what do you do with him? If his story was in any way, shape, or form connected here. Otherwise, I could care less about the rest of it. I don't care about...
You Batgirl it.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if they're going to do. We're going to take the tax write-off.
As bad as the Marvel movies have been performing, and with this hit, how can you conceivably move forward and expect anything to get better?
I agree. It's we don't like what DC and Warner's pulled with Batgirl. And we'll see. Coyote versus Acme might actually see the light of day because a lot of other companies seem like they want it.
That's brilliant.
But you're not that far in here with these movies because of the strike. The strike might end up being a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Pushing all Marvel. These movies back.
Yeah.
Pushing them back. And now with what happened with Jonathan Majors, you can just pull the plug, eat some money. Yes, a lot of money. But not nearly as much.
You weren't making anything on it anyway.
Yeah, look at
You're not going to lose
the
anymore.
Marvels, you are losing how many millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on the Marvels because how terrible that was.
Yeah.
Real quick, wrapping up segment 2. Have some fun here. 3 new movie announcements. I think we might have covered a couple of these. But let's start off. We've been talking about Sydney Sweeney's boobs. So why not bring up the fact that now it looks like Sony is back in developing a reboot starring Sydney Sweeney of Barbarella.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That was the worst. That was a horrible freaking movie.
Didn't it have boobies, though?
Covered.
Oh, I thought that was supposed to be like a big, nudie fest.
It really wasn't.
But then again, Jane Fonda was in it. So
exactly, so they were always covered. It was an awful, 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 awful movie. It was bad.
I'm just reporting the news. Is all I'm doing here. I'm just doing a public service. Now, you'll like this one. Now, again, we might have discussed this, but I can't remember for sure. Got verification on all these today. There will be a Violent Night 2.
All right.
They've confirmed they are in development on bringing back David Harbour as Santa Claus in Violent Night 2.
Excellent.
Finally coming out in February of this coming year, 2024, because we're talking low budget, so quick
turnaround.
Already been filmed, ready to go. One that I know Dave wants to see. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Oh my God! No! You know I'm going to watch the fucking thing.
I knew it! See, that's my Mendoza line now. Mendoza line, for those of you who don't listen to the sports edition, who don't know sports, the Mendoza line is a very, very low bar for baseball hitters. And if you hit above the Mendoza line, maybe you keep your job. If you hit below the Mendoza line, you suck ass.
And the Mendoza line is 200.
So for movies, I have set the Mendoza line as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. If you're better than that, okay. If you're worse than that, you are absolutely abysmal and awful.
Trash.
And the people that made the movie should be taken out and shot in a back alley.
Oh, God.
I have officially set Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey as my Mendoza line, so I cannot wait for part 2. I cannot wait.
Oh, Lord.
But we're not done yet. Oh, my God. Dave is going to be really mad at me.
TV and streaming coming up next.
Dave is going to be really mad at me because I've got
Is
some
this a
awful
left-right
news.
situation?
Dave, I've got awful, awful news coming up in segment 3. Sorry. I'm just the messenger.
It's a left-right situation.
Stay tuned, kids. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now that we've let you into Frenzy Club, here are 3 rules. 1, you don't talk about Sports Frenzy 2.0. You listen to it on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and all other major podcast hosts. 2, 2 guys to a show. Kev Dave, the Maestro and the Conquistador. 3, 1 Sports Frenzy episode at a time. Until Saturday, when you get the weekend edition. Now get in there and let loose on some PC wuss bags, will ya? Third and final segment here. The anticipation builds for the terrible, awful, bad news that I have to give your Uncle Dave and all of you.
But that's coming up last.
I will save it. That's called building tension. I took a film class once.
Once.
Yeah. This is your beloved Uncle Dave, the Conquistador Dave Height.
And that is your beloved Uncle Kev, Kevin Crane, the Maestro.
So, hopefully, you're feeling better, because we know you're just going to go back out and do it all again on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
But we're going to have to give you some recommendations. We've given you, well, not a book. You didn't like the book too much.
Not too much.
Equalizer, if you just want to watch some blood and guts.
Yeah. The book you have to if you want to continue the series.
Yep.
There you go.
Sebastian Bach, definitely a recommendation from this week.
Yep. And hey, check out the Facebook page where we have our sports picks and all, but it's a chance for you to recommend stuff to us.
Yes, and we're actually debating for 2024, which would be 2 episodes from now. First episode of 2024, are we going to start doing Q&As and polls to bring you even more into our little world, our little demented, twisted,
politically incorrect realm?
Yes. So that could be coming here in a couple of weeks, kids. But now, this is the part we've been looking forward to. We don't have any dumbasses this week, believe it or not, in the world of entertainment. So we're going to do everything here to fill in the last segment with TV and streaming because we have got a lot to discuss.
Yep. Halfway through Fargo, episode 5, The Tiger.
Yeah, episode 5 was like setup where it's basically saying, okay, now the shit's going to start happening.
Yeah. Everything is starting to really
I still want explanations, though, about some things.
There's several explanations we need.
Yes, we need some character development in terms of letting us know why certain characters can do what they do or why they behave how they behave.
Yes. So things should really ramp up in these final 5 episodes.
Yes, but it's been great so far. Very intriguing, very interesting. And Fargo never disappoints.
No, it's the black comedies are so good.
Yes, Noah Hawley is brilliant. And I am so happy that he's in charge of this upcoming FX Alien series because I trust him with how well he has written and shepherded Fargo. that he will definitely make this Alien series
enjoyable,
kick ass. Yes, beyond belief.
Yeah.
So you're saying, so you already, I did not look ahead. So 10 episodes is what we're looking at?
Jen had asked, how many episodes are there? And I go, it's probably going to be between 10 and 12. And so she just went and checked and she said 10 episodes.
Okay. All right. Sometimes that's cheating. Sometimes that tells you kind of the end point. So you kind of like start putting the plot together in your head and starting to figure out, okay, how far can this go?
Yeah.
How many more episodes can this really go?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 5 to go. Now, of course, we have been looking forward to this for a long, long, long time.
The buildup of anybody who saw season 1, the countdown from when the release date was announced, the buzz around this.
Yes, and the numbers already are in as the first 3 episodes were released on Amazon last week.
Reacher.
50%.
Reacher season 2.
Yep, 50% increase on viewership for the first 3 episodes over last year because, of course, many people like us telling their friends, telling their family members, you have got to watch this. If you haven't read the books, goddamn it, read the books.
Go back and read them. They are brilliant.
Yes, Lee Child, of course, his Jack Reacher series, season 2, is based on Bad Luck and Trouble. No, we're not going book by book. I wish they would have.
That would have been great.
It's a little optimistic, but I still think with how successful this has been, how great the casting was, Alan Rickson as Reacher is perfect.
Phenomenal. Season 3 has already been greenlit.
Yes.
My little news hound for entertainment, Nick, watched a clip of an interview with Rickson. And, they asked him, so can you tell us what book it's going to be based on? And he goes, the person who was there with him, can we talk about that? No, not yet. Okay, sorry, we can't say what book. But I will say, fans will not be disappointed.
Oh, God.
They will
61
be excited.
Hours.
Boom!
That's the one that brought me in. That's the one that brought me in. That's the one I would love to see.
I've read the entire series, and I told everybody my favorite is 61 Hours, and they damn well better do that as the third one if they're not going in sequence.
I got very lucky in that was the one we talked about.
That is the best one in the series.
I jumped in, picked up the book, said, I just want to read a book in this series, see if it's any good. And it happened to be 61 Hours. And I was like, holy fuck, I got to read this series.
Yeah.
That book is so good.
And
now it'll be a completely different dynamic from what we've been seeing in the first 2 seasons.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
But it is such an unbelievable book.
It's a phenomenal story.
Yep. Yep.
And where the other books have taken place over the course of days, weeks, this story literally rolls in 61 consecutive hours.
And it is unbelievable. Unbelievable book.
So
I would love to see that. I don't have any faith they'll do it. I just think they're going to.
I can only hope.
Now, I would hope Amazon now, after 2 years, 2 seasons of this, and I know they're trying to keep the budgets down. You can tell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can tell while they're doing a very good job directing, writing, casting it.
Right.
They're keeping the budget. They're going to have to spend money on season 3 if they do 61
they have
hours.
To. There's no doubt. So I need to double check one thing.
But again, season 2, the first 3 episodes have been fantastic. Of course, the plot line of Bad Luck and Trouble, not to spoil, but we get some background on, of course, the Special Investigators.
Yep, the 110th MP.
Which, of course, is the group that Reacher headed, founded,
put together.
shepherded. And again, you're gonna hear the bare bones basic recap in any synopsis. You see, people are hunting the members of the Special Investigators. And you do not mess with the Special Investigators! So, the members that are left, and you can watch the show and figure out who's left. You can figure pretty much Neely from the first season is in there. But beyond that, you can watch. You'll be introduced to the other members that are left.
Yep. So far, I love this series. They do such a great job staying true to the books.
Who is Nick Santoro is the shepherd, the guy that's pushing this, writing this.
Yeah.
And he's doing an unbelievable job.
You can tell he is a true fan of the series.
Oh my God. He is doing an unbelievable job casting, writing, propelling this, pushing it forward with the brutal, blunt force of a Reacher headbutt.
Yes.
The lines, Reacher speaks like Reacher should speak. He's got his rules.
Yes. Oh my God.
Neely is the hands-off, don't touch me, I'm not that type of person type thing. But I know Reacher will always have my back.
Yep.
It's just yes.
So good.
You still should watch the Tom Cruise movies, though.
No. I'm good, thank you.
They're good, I'm telling you, they're good.
There's principalities involved.
Well, that leaves us with Obliterated.
Before we hit that, there's another book to TV show transition coming.
Okay.
And after the first of the year, CBS is having the show Tracker.
Yes, I have seen that.
Based on the Jeffrey Deaver series on Colton Shaw that I have reviewed the books here, where he was raised by former professor parents turned survivalists. And what he does is he goes after rewards. He finds missing people. That's how he makes his living.
Why wouldn't they make it more prominent that this is based on a Jeffrey Deaver book series?
I don't know, but I was finally paid attention because I'm like, wait, this looks like one of them. So I finally listened, instead of fast forwarding through, I actually listened to the advertisement for it, the commercial, and heard Colton Shaw, the lead character's name. I'm like, all right, I got to give this a shot. We'll see how it goes.
I was thinking about watching it even before I knew that. It looked like something I would be interested in.
Yeah.
And God knows there are so few really good action, adventure, thriller type shows out there.
On network TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tracker I'm looking forward to. I hope they can do it some semblance of justice.
So Obliterated.
Obliterated. Tick, 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 boom.
Our final review here this week. We started Obliterated. 8 episodes on Netflix. We both got through the first episode. Couple familiar faces.
My
Thomas
God,
Howell.
I did not need that full frontal of C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
God.
I didn't need that.
I
No,
did not
I'm with
need
you.
that.
I didn't need that.
Now,
of course,
the team leader, she could have done the full frontal, and I would have been happy. But
yeah, didn't the old statesman tell us there was so much gratuitous nudity? Yeah, it's all guys. Jesus God!
But at least we got the team leader's beautifully sculpted behind.
That doesn't make up for C. Thomas Howell's flopping in them. Now, of course.
Now, he is great as the whacked out bomb tech.
Yes. Yes. And then, of course, I had to look this up. Nick Zano, the male lead, I'm like, where do I know this guy from? It's one of those, where do I know this guy from? He played Steel in Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's where I
There
was
we
like,
go.
okay, now I know where I know him from. So now I can move on. So basically the premise is we have a special unit, special ops unit,
CIA team,
right, who thinks they've solved a major terrorist incident, figured it out, kept it from happening. So they decide to go celebrate, and it turns
they're
out
in Vegas,
yeah.
So it goes off the rails.
Yep, and then it turns out, well, nope, you didn't solve it. The bomb was fake. There's a real bomb out there that's going to destroy Las Vegas. You got 7 hours to solve it, and they're all hungover, shit-faced.
Oh, they're not even hungover. They're still shit-faced when it comes in.
Yep.
Because the director of the CIA goes, I hope you celebrated responsibly. And the team leader, she goes, yes, we celebrated responsibly.
And let's just say, at the end of the first episode, I'm not really confident with the pilot saying he ate a whole bowl of guac. You'll have to watch. You will have to watch the episode to understand what I'm saying.
Oh my god, it's great. I'm
so
hooked.
Far, I'm good.
I'm
good with it. Yep, I'm going to watch more.
Despite C. Thomas Howell.
Again, just his junk.
Yeah,
great as an actor.
Frontal, great. Yeah. His role is perfect. I just did not need to see him.
It's junk.
Yeah.
Now the ladies out there might be like, ooh.
Of a certain age.
Yeah.
Pony boy.
Hung like a horse. Or like a pony. Like a pony. Again, good for him. Good for him. Brave man.
Brave man.
All right. Let's do a rundown of what we've got in the news. And then, of course, that's going to lead to the end of
something.
Yes. And then we have our moments of silence.
Which that'll probably be the big lead.
Now, you did not watch this show on Max. Now it's switching over to Netflix. I would highly recommend this. I think you would like it a lot. The Tourist. Starring Jamie Dornan.
I saw the first episode. We started it. We just got caught up in other shit, and we haven't gone back.
All right, so I was worried because they were going to do season 2, but it was going to be an overseas production. I think it's a BBC production.
Yeah.
And Max said, we're not going to carry it. Netflix said, we'll take it. So February the 29th. So this is a leap year, I guess.
There you go.
We got a February 29th premiere for season 2 on Netflix.
God, it's been out for like 2 years.
Yeah, and the season 1, I think, hits Netflix in early January.
Okay.
So if you want to watch, I loved it. I thought it was great.
I was intrigued by it, but it's just one that...
Oh, believe me.
Fell off.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah.
How many? I still haven't finished Justified City Primeval yet.
You're still behind on Peaky Blinders, too.
Yes, among dozens of others. So, yeah, The Tourist season 2.
So don't give me crap about how long it took me for Animal Kingdom.
You came through, though. You came through. And I give you props and credit for that. And now you got Nick watching it. So,
Connor.
Oh, Connor, sorry. Connor.
Yeah. I don't know if Nick's watching something else and then he's going to get to it.
Okay. But yeah, The Tourist season 2, February the 29th on Netflix.
And then Nick recommended The Warrior.
I don't know if that's my cup of tea.
So,
I don't know. We like Jeopardy. But unfortunately for Maya Mbalek, she will no longer be co-host. Ken Jennings basically bitch slapped her out.
Yep. One host. None of this.
One host to rule them all.
2 hosts enter. 1 host leaves.
There you go. Do we have to talk about Furiosa again? Cannot
No.
wait for Furiosa.
Furiosa's going to be good.
Now, this is a show that I might end up going back and catching up on. Because I am a huge Seinfeld fan. Huge Seinfeld fan. And this is a show that I kind of dabbled in over the years. Coming to an end in 2024. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Ending with season 12's debuting. The final season debuts February the 4th. Larry David, I know he's an acquired taste.
You can only take him so much at a time.
Yeah, I don't know if I can binge watch 11 seasons of him.
I am not a fan of Larry David.
I might just go back and try it again.
I tried it. I couldn't get into it. It did nothing for me.
Can I do a little wrestling news?
Sure.
Can I? All right, CM Punk is back. We know this.
Yep.
He, quote-unquote, chose Raw. So he will now be on Monday Night Raw. And, of course, he's already started a feud with Seth Rollins.
Because why wouldn't he?
Well, Seth Rollins basically... And you wonder how much of it is truth, how much of it is acting, where Seth Rollins has been basically saying, who's going to trust you? You've basically been a little bitch for the last decade. You screw people over. You start fights in the backstage area. You don't care about the other wrestlers. Why the hell should we trust you on this show? So I'm sure some of it's acting, but I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
There's a lot of truth to that, too.
So that's your next big feud. CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Oh, Liv Morgan. Oh, my God. Liv Morgan, such a beautiful woman. Nursing a shoulder injury. Former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Arrested this past week in Florida. Driving recklessly. And, of course...
In possession.
Interesting thing, though.
Meth?
Pot. Just pot.
But still,
but
come
Florida,
on.
You got to remember the state you're in.
Exactly.
Know the rules of the state you're in.
Yes.
We watching on Patrol Live, we know this.
And how much you have makes a big difference, and if you're upfront and honest.
Interesting thing, though. I read the article. And, of course, they show a lot of pictures of her in her ring attire and the makeup and everything. And then they have her mugshot. And it was amazing how in the comments, all the guys were saying, she looks unbelievably attractive in her mugshot compared to how she looks.
She looks in the ring.
The ring. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And everybody's saying, it's amazing how some women can look so much better without makeup.
Yes.
And they were just marveling at her mugshot. And she's like, oh my God, she looks fantastic without all the makeup and the mascara and the eyeshadow and the eye shit.
Well, that was Pamela Anderson. She looks so much better without all the makeup. And then she had work done, and
we've talked about the work done's a different thing. That's another subject, because Meg Ryan was one of the most beautiful women in the world, and then she had plastic surgery done,
and she never should have. She just should have gone gracefully.
Yep. All right, you ready for the bad news? I've been prepping this.
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows is officially done.
I thought they renewed it.
The next season is the last season.
Oh, come on.
They claim.
What bullshit.
Yeah, they renewed it for seasons 5 and 6. We've seen 5. Season 6 will be the last season.
That's bullshit.
They're claiming a large drop in viewership.
Oh,
but
bullshit.
Here's the catch. They're not counting numbers on Hulu. They're only counting the FX numbers. So they're not counting the fact that people watch it on Hulu next day. So they're claiming viewership has dropped 40 to 50% over the last year.
Bullshit.
So the vampires are ending.
No.
With the next season will be the last season. They gotta take all the good shit away from us, Dave. They always have to.
Netflix, save another one.
Good idea. Or Amazon.
Yeah.
Somebody step up.
Step up. Fuck FX. FX fucks you with the good stuff.
It's Disney. Remember who runs this whole show.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's FX. And who screwed us with Terriers?
Yeah, that would be FX.
Yeah.
So yes, you were right. They did renew it for 5 and 6.
Bastards.
But that's as far as it's going.
Dirty, rotten bastards.
So it looks like later this year we will get the possibly final season of The Vampires. The fucking funniest, greatest show on TV.
My
God. That means you gotta take it away. You gotta take it away because it's actually creative and well done and well written. So you gotta take it off the air.
So no more.
What, we gonna have another reality show? Let's have another reality show. Why don't we? The Golden fucking Vampire Bachelor. Let's do something like that. That costs nothing, that has no redeeming value or quality whatsoever.
No more Nandor De Laurentiis.
No more Jackie Daytona.
We need one more Jackie Daytona reference.
Yes, we have to. We have to get one more Jackie Daytona. God help us. Yes. All right. Moments of silence to wrap up things on the weekend edition. Original AC/DC drummer, Colin Burgess, passed away. And again, doing research for this podcast, I learned stuff. I did not know this. I did not know Colin Burgess was the original drummer for AC/DC.
I did not either.
See, you
until I read the article.
You always need to learn stuff, kids.
Read, people. It's fundamental.
Always good to learn learn things in the sports edition.
Yep.
This is where the internet can actually do some good. As long as you're not sitting in your mother's basement, typing out nasty, insulting, misogynistic comments.
Or making shit up.
Now, this guy, I, again, did not know. And I watched Rescue Me. I loved Rescue Me with Dennis Leary. Again, yeah. FX. It seems to be a recurring theme here with FX.
Well, at least Rescue Me had a good run.
Yes. Now, I did not recognize, I looked at his picture, I did not remember him from the show. James McCaffrey. Now, supposedly, his more famous claim to fame, he was the voice in the video games of Max Payne. Yep. Now, finally, for me, this one kind of hit hard because I have always claimed I'm an old school radio guy. I listened to the radio when I was a kid. I listened to Casey Kasem. Of course, we know about Wolfman Jack. The inspiration for not only the Tom Petty album, The Last DJ, but Roger Waters' Radio Chaos. And he is largely considered the last great disc jockey. Has died. Jim Ladd.
Oh.
Had a Sirius XM show. Dave and I have always kind of joked, about starting our own radio station if we had the money, starting Sports Frenzy Radio, but we would do a hybrid. We would play music for maybe 40 minutes and then intersperse, like 10 minutes of entertainment news an hour, 10 minutes of sports an hour. But we would play the music we wanted to play.
Yeah.
Not corporate bullshit.
You were not going to hear Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yes. Or You Shook Me All Night Long because we've heard it all way too much. Mistress for Christmas, you mentioned that earlier. That would fucking be on the playlist right now on Sports Frenzy Radio.
Exactly.
That would be on the playlist along with Chris Isaac playing Mele Kalikimaka. That's the kind of stuff we would put out there.
The lesser heard songs.
Because again, DJs, unfortunately, I'm not trying to say anything about Jim Ladd. DJs are dead.
Yeah, it's all
pre-recorded.
A loop.
Yep, pre-recorded CDs or whatever.
Corporate crap.
Yes. And it's garbage, and it's insulting to the music fans like Dave and I, like you, who care about what's out there. We want to hear new music. We want to hear different music. We want to hear deep tracks like we used to get back in the 80s. And radio has let us down.
Big time.
So it was very sad for me to hear about Jim Ladd, because now he was the last, probably less recognizable DJ name that I would know.
Yeah.
And they're all gone.
Anymore, they want the comedy duos or trios with canned frickin' laughter that sucks ass.
Who are those idiots on in the morning? Oh, God. Bob and Tom.
Out of Indy, yeah.
Bob and Tom.
And Tom is no longer... and Bob is no longer on. It's Tom and the other cast. And it's just
now every
dumb.
other morning show is and then so you don't get music in the morning. You get this crap on every channel. Radio, it's amazing. Radio's not dead yet. Sports Frenzy Radio is needed.
Damn Skippy. More music, less talk.
Unless it's
educate
us. Unless it's us.
And we'll educate you on what's going on.
Next week, kids, we will talk to you some more. Dave won't be here, but I will.
Merry Christmas.
Peace out.